Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're here with another episode of Squid Game, episode 6. Last time on Squid Game, the end of Tug of War. The episode before that, of course, ended up quite the cliffhanger, a literal cliffhanger. But the last episode we wrapped up that game. I do wish we had seen the rest of the Tug of War games. We only saw the two, our protagonist and our antagonist, that mob guy that I really want to see die so badly. But he's very perseverant. Um, but our team managed to come out on top with some tips from the old man and Sangwoo coming in with the clutch at the very end with that idea to jerk step forward three steps and throw the team off balance and then pull, and they managed to win. And it's the subtle details in the show that makes it so fascinating. We had Gyun at the front, which I thought was a mistake at the very beginning, of course, and because he's he's not the one you want to be the leader, to look fearless at the very front. He's opposite of that. Although he's learning, and we're slowly seeing him becoming not a child, and that's what's so one of the more interesting things about the series is that we're playing children's games, and he is very much a child in every aspect of his life. But throughout the games, you are seeing him grow up, but he almost went over the he almost fell over when they stepped when they went 3 steps forward, and as he was backing up, you could see the horror on his face, the thought that, okay, you're pulling these people to their death. And it occurs to you in that moment, that you're rooting for them to win, but you're also rooting for the other people to die. But he kept pulling because they had to. It's survival. Look, I'm cutting the old man some slack because he's been helping us. But as I said, I'm still suspicious of him because there are still some questions that have not been answered. From what we've seen of him so far, one, there's no way that was a coincidence that he was in the same district that Gyun is actually from. There's no way that that's pure coincidence. Of all the contestants, over 400 contestants, and he happens to be visiting someone there, at that moment. And Gyun has never seen him before, and having lived there most, if not all, his life. So that seemed pretty unusual. And the fact that he'd been enjoying the game so much, the fact that he's number one as well was quite peculiar. And he withheld his name when they asked him what his name was. He was going on as though it was the dementia, but with all the suspicion, building, I find it hard to believe that in that moment he's been talkative before, but in this moment he couldn't recall his name. So he's just, and the first thing that we saw him do when we started was when we first met him, he was counting something, and Gyun pointed out that the number of individuals in the game was already there, and I suspected him then because it wasn't, I don't think that's why he was counting. And again, my suspicions are really more from Alice in Borderland, because usually the first person that you meet in the game is there to kind of disarm you. And I just felt, okay, maybe because I was rewatching Alice in Borderland, that was the same thing that happened in that series. But yeah, but he's redeemed himself somewhat here, in saving the team. So maybe I'm wrong about him. And so we'll see about that. But yeah, we focused a bit more on the cop in the last episode. And things, I missed a few things in the end of the last episode, in that his brother was listed as one of the actual winners of the game. So he didn't die, but if he didn't die, where the hell has he been? I do wonder whether it's a situation where either maybe he won and decided, rather than going back to his old life. And here's the thing, even if you do win, depending on how high your debts are, more than likely you'll be able to pay off your debt. but then you'll have no money left and you'll still be in a shitty situation where you're poor or barely making ends meet. So for most of them, they'll be able to pay off their debt, but they'll still be living in poverty after that. So I do wonder if that was a situation where he was like, okay, I can go back, pay off my debts, and live in poverty again, or I can just leave, get a new identity, go somewhere else to live. He has his poor brother here risking his life trying to find him, but yeah, who's to say? Or maybe, it's something a bit more sinister and they just kill you at the end of this and you get nothing. Or his brother is involved somehow, because we still don't know why the employees are participating. And we learned in the last episode that, it doesn't appear as though they're there on in the same situation as the contestants. They're not there because they're owed debts. I don't believe that's the case based on what we've seen with the smugglers. So they must be there for another reason. And the kid that we saw, he was a square. We saw his face. I don't think he would be in that much debt as someone at such a young age. He could, but it seems very unlikely. So there must be some other reason why the employees will be participating in the game. I don't know if it is maybe they were contestants and then they went to be employees. I would have thought someone would have seen that in the contract before, and maybe it's an option. I don't know, but yeah, but something's definitely a bit suspicious about the fact that his brother won and still hasn't returned home. So I'm curious to see how the couple get out of this one, because he's in a bind. They now know he's infiltrated them and they're looking for him. So let's check it out. All right, I guess we're moving on. Maybe the old man is okay, and I'm being suspicious of him for no reason. Alright, on to the next game. Weren't they sleeping? They just woke them up, right? So they didn't allow them to rest? Wow. So much for equality. The hell? Oh, they called all the other accomplices. Damn. I guess it's a good thing they didn't figure out who was cheating, because they might have got roped into it. Except him. He can just die. The guy's gonna figure out at some point that the reason you're not on any of the cameras is because you're in the one place where there are no cameras, which is his room. And he can face him right here. No, he doesn't usually have guards. Just occurred to me, what are the odds that maybe this guy is his actual brother?
It is being addressed. No need to worry.
Okay, he's speaking English, but he does have an accent, so I do think he's still Korean. I find her annoying, but I do hope she's the one that kills him. I hope she's the one that kills him. You're still in the same groups. Uh-oh. Means you're gonna have to work with people that you didn't trust before. I know Sang-woo's gonna end up with the old man, more than likely. Because he doesn't want him to die, and no one is gonna want to play with the old man because he appears to be weak. More than likely it only receives calls and he can't make any out. It's time to leave. You have whatever evidence you need. This is gonna be tough. I know Ali is gonna work with Sang-woo. So it's gonna be Sang-woo and Ali. He's the only one that Sang-woo trusts outside of
내가 뭘 줄 수
Yoon.
있는 줄 알면 깜짝 놀랄걸?
Okay. I don't think your tactics work here. And what do you act? No one wants to work with her, and who can blame them? She's entertaining, but she is a shit person.
그런다고 아줌마랑 해주겠어? 그냥 솔직히 말해. 여자랑
they're allowing the last game to guide what they do next, but they don't know what the next game will actually be.
나랑 빨리 나랑 같이 하자.
Oh.
여기서 하는 게임들 결국 힘쓰는 거 아니면 머리.
Oh, come on, Sang-woo. Huh? Not even asking Yoon first?
아니야. 아 괜찮아. 야 너희들이 진짜 잘 맞겠다. 난 또 다른 사람이랑 하면 되지.
Okay. You're gonna end up with the old man.
자, 영감님.
Yeah, he's not gonna want to abandon him.
이옷 입고 가.
Stop thinking about the previous game. The same rules may not apply. I get the feeling he didn't pick the strongest guy. He just picked the one that would listen to him.
나랑 하자.
You may as well.
내가 왜?
You have no one else. Yet you still have a lot of pride. I guess because she was alone, secluded in a corner, recognized one of her own. But I don't know about this girl. She just seems very casual about everything. She doesn't care if she wins or if she lives or dies.
무슨 게임을 할지 몰라서.
아, 재지 말고 그냥 나랑 합시다.
Why is no one chosen him? It must be for a reason. So someone's gonna be left alone.
한 명이 남어. 그럼 어떻게 되는 거죠?
뭘 어떻게 돼? 남으면 자동 탈락이겠지.
That means that it's just the old man. It's gonna be the old man by himself. So he's gonna have to team up with him. There's no way he doesn't. But the odd thing is, the fact that no one has chosen this dude raises some questions. Yeah, I figured.
영감님, 저랑 하실래요?
Good on you, Gin. Oh, so why didn't she team up with that guy that was asking Gin just now? It's his wife. What do you think is gonna happen? This is not good. Spilling the secrets. Are they gonna kill her, or is she just gonna have to just play on her own? Oh boy. But that's not fair, though. That's not. She's not playing. What? Where's the equality? That's not fair. At least let her play, and if she dies, she dies. I don't know. I get the feeling, as much as I kind of like Sang-woo's character and I want to know more about him, I think if it comes down to it and he needs all the money, he'll try to take out the next guy just to get it. Marbles? Yes! I remember playing this game. And see, this is why I suspect the old man. He knows every single game.
그러면은 우리 깐부부터 깐부. 아 기억나네요. 저도 동네에 한 놈 있었어요. 저랑 제일 친했던 놈.
Oh, okay.
그래. 그 깐부.
Alright. I hope you guys. I hope you're right.
지금 여러분의 옆에 있는 짝과 시합을 벌여 상대의 구슬 10개를 모두 따내는 사람이
Damn. Damn. Oh, that's not a good idea. Guess teaming him up was not great.
형,
But I think at this point the old man has said he's pretty okay with dying if he dies. So you just need to just go with it, man. You don't have a choice here. But the guy who has to kill his wife or she has to kill him, that's terrible. So none of them have played marbles before. I guess it's not as popular a game now as it used to be back then.
어디 갔지?
His house.
내 손 아래에 있는 구슬의 숫자가 홀수냐 짝수냐 이것만 맞추면 돼.
Okay. So they kind of make up the games that they want to play with the marbles. They can win it from the other person any way that they seem. Alright.
알아들어?
I thought we were going to play actual marbles.
잘 생각해서 둘 중 하나에 네 구슬 걸어.
I don't want either of them to die. I want to know more about Sang-woo, but I don't want Ali to die either.
몇개 깠어?
It would be some shit if this guy beats him. No, getting greedy is not good.
웃지 마, 이 새끼야.
에이 씨발 왜 욕을 하고 그래? 형님 해주니까는 내가 진짜로 네 부하로.
This guy has some backbone?
못 쓴대잖아 이 비웃은 새끼야.
This is gold. I do hope he kills him, but I don't think he's gonna be the one to do it.
한 판으로 끝내. 다 걸고.
But how will the people overseeing the game know that they're playing a fair game? I guess it doesn't matter.
마지막에 하자.
And there's no point in her getting close to you now when
얘기.
you're about to die.
무슨 얘기?
I'm assuming she's going to die.
다른 사람들한테 못해.
Sorry, you didn't have a backstory, so you're not making it through this. Interesting. I get the feeling that this girl is, as I said before, she really doesn't care if she lives or dies, so she may just give her marbles over to Sebyuk. Ali's winning this one. Nope. Gotta figure something out. Help him find his house. I think he's.
딱 한 번만 해봐요. 이거 정말 재밌어요. 나 집에 가고 싶어.
What's going on? I don't know.
나가야 된다고. 소리 지르지 마.
Yeah, this is tough.
될거 아니야.
But he can't just sit there and die, so I mean, I get it.
정한 걸로 하자고.
여기는 평등한 곳이라며.
You have to get the other person to agree to it. That's what you agreed to. Huh? How is that fair? I wonder wait, did he get all his marbles or just some of them? Because otherwise, why would I agree to another game? Once he's down to 2 marbles, that's it. He'll know how many he had. Okay, he has 1. So he already knows. Okay.
이 새끼 너
속임수 쓰지.
Oh, come on, Sang-woo.
왜 그래요?
네가 어떻게 계속 이길 수가 있어?
Man. How would he cheat?
아무것도 모르고서 나 속인 거지. 너 이런 거 해본 적 없다며? 어떻게 속였어? 말해!
At the end of the day, though, I suppose I'd prefer Ali live, and he would try to make things right with Sangwoo's mom at the very least. Sangwoo doesn't have any family outside of that, a wife or a kid to take care of or anything like that.
잡혀서 다시 북으로 끌려갔고.
이긴 건가?
몇 개 보셨어요?
때까지 번들었다. 저 구멍으로 각자 하나씩 구슬을 던지는 거야.
왜 누면?
넣은 사람이 그때까지 바닥에 깔린 구슬들을 다 가져가는 거지.
I need to understand why this is acceptable, though. He's too cocky. He's definitely going to lose now. Okay, there's the time.
여기서 돈
Alright,
벌어서
13
나가면
minutes.
너는 뭐 할 거야?
동생이랑 같이 지낼 집 하나 구하고 거기에 있는 엄마 데리고.
Yeah, I think she's just going to give her the win at the end of it.
야, 스케일이 제주도가 뭐냐? 뭐 하와이 아니 몰디브 정도는 가줘야지. 모히또도 한 잔. 진짜 안 되겠다.
She's been a bit busy.
나한테 남조선에서 겁나게 돈 쓰는 법 좀 배워야겠다.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Yes, they would have been good friends in the real world, or damn, like it's the real world. They would have been good friends outside of these games.
내가 너 오해했어. 근데 나 이렇게 죽을 수 없어.
What's the other choice? Who'll kill his family? His mom needs help, but
아니야, 야. 너만 나 도와주면 우리 둘 다 살 수 있는 방법 있어.
how?
너도 내 덕분에 여기까지 왔잖아.
Oh man, come on, Sangwoo, you're not. He was one of my likable characters before, but he's not anymore, man. Why are you doing that to Ali? If he screws over Ali, I'm done with Sangwoo. I'm done with him. How many does he have left? Damn it, I want him to die so badly, but I knew it wasn't going to be
이 안에서
to this
결국
guy.
몇 팀은 끝까지 승부가 안 나게 돼.
But you can't play with anyone else except the partner that you chose, though.
그 사람들 다 탈락시켜?
Yeah, whoever has the least
그치?
marbles.
네. 그럼 그때는
You can't play other teams. I don't think that's a part of the rule. I can't believe he's doing this to Ali. If he gets Ali killed, I'm done with him.
네 손으로 나 저렇게 만들고 싶어?
And he's playing on his conscience. I mean, it's not great that any of them have to die, but fair is fair.
사람들이 매일 죽어나갔는데 군인들이 시체들을 한 군데 모아서 태웠어. 그때 우리 할아버지 할머니 오빠 지나치게 뒷편에 넌본 적 있어?
Yeah, you haven't told us anything about yourself.
나 집에 돌아오니까 엄마가 방바닥에 누워서 죽어 있었어. 그 옆엔 아버지란 인간이 칼을 들고 서 있어.
Damn.
그 인간 직업이 목사였어. 엄마를 때리고 나한테 그 짓을 하고 나면 항상 기도를 해.
Well deserved, I see.
야, 야, 잠깐만요.
You lost. He's gonna cheat.
방금
Jesus. I mean, you need to live.
저기요.
Oh, okay. Huh? Like, you gotta do what you gotta do to live. Sucks taking advantage of the old man like that, though.
어떤 팀이
And Sam was lying through his teeth here.
지금 시간 없으니까 빨리 흩어져서 다른 팀들 상황을 좀 살펴보자.
The rules didn't say anything about playing other teams.
나이가 어린 팀이랑 나이가 많은 팀들.
Older than 50. There's only one person that fits that description, isn't there?
네, 형.
Please tell me you took all your marbles with you, Ali. Don't leave your pouch with him.
다들 막판에 미친놈들처럼 변할
Don't
텐데 무슨 일이 벌어질지.
Leave your pouch with him.
내가 가지고 다니게 안전하게 해줄게.
They said get the marbles, they didn't say how. So you can trick the opponent into getting it.
갈
Also,
데가
she
없어서
came
그런가?
here immediately after being released from prison.
생각을 못 해봤네. 같이 제주도
But I do wonder what happens to the players who are still playing after the time is up. That's one. Because this could literally go on forever. What happens if the other guy misses as well? They're both out. Oh.
하나 남았는데.
What happens if they both miss?
덕수야.
Maybe something if he hits his marble and his marble goes in. I didn't think there was a chance in hell that would happen. That would really happen. Oh my god. You are horrible at playing marbles.
278번 탈락.
But I did play marble in high school, and that has happened. What do you do? Put rocks in it?
만나자. 그때 작전 알려줄게.
Unforgivable, Samuel. This is sad. This is sad. Taking advantage of an old man. As much as I've said I don't trust the old man though, but poor Samuel, man. I mean, poor Ali. He's just forcing you to waste time. Come on, Ali, figure this out. You're a piece of garbage, Samu. I'm sorry. You know, now to think about it,
뭐라고?
we never met Gion's father or heard anyone heard him speak about his father. Well, maybe I was wrong about the old man. Maybe he's not suspicious. He seems to be meeting his end here. I thought maybe he was involved in this game somehow.
말한 규칙은 어떤 게임을 하든 폭력을 쓰지 않고 상대방의 구슬을 모두 따면 되는 거였어.
He's just gonna be gone. Doesn't even have the balls to stick around and look Ali in the eyes.
구슬을 던져서 저와 벽에 가깝게 멈추는 쪽이 이기는 거야. 어때?
I thought she was just gonna give them to her. Actually, who knows? Maybe she'll drop short intentionally.
새벽 좋다. 너는? 지영.
Guess after what her father did, I can't blame her. Okay, their numbers keep throwing me off now because the jackets that they're actually wearing don't coincide with the shirts that they're wearing. They seem to have mixed and matched them. Can't. I'm sorry, old man.
죄송합니다. 구슬이 하나 있었네. 하나가 남았어.
How many do you have? But I mean, you know how much he has at this point.
여보세요. 잠깐만요.
So it's... Oh, he's gone. Okay. Betting everything on just one game. That's risky. Although I think she'll lose on purpose. Yeah. I figured.
내가 졌네. 너 뭐 하는 짓이냐고. 구슬을 그냥 놓쳤어. 던져. 나 다시 던져도 너 못 이겨. 참 좀 멋있게 좀 지게 해줘라. 혼자 개똥 잡지 말고 다시 던지라고.
Doesn't have anything to return to.
여기서 나갈 이유가 있지.
Yeah.
난 없어. 이유가 있는 사람이 나가는 게 맞잖아. 그게 맞잖아. 너는 꼭 살아서 나가.
I hope she makes it.
동생도 찾고 제주도에 두고 가.
Damn. She met one decent person that's actually here. Among all these delinquents.
나 보고 왔어요.
And Ali too. Samu is a piece of garbage for this. Left him there to die. Damn you, Samu. Alright, I hope you die. I hope you die. I don't care about you anymore. I don't even want to know why you did what you did.
고마워. 나랑 같이 해줘서.
Move forward for her sake. Come on.
자꾸 내 말 좀 들으라고. 그래, 나는 저 전봇대 뒤에 숨어서
Time's almost up. What are you gonna do?
거를 몰래 훔쳐가. 정신 차려.
Come on, old man, or we are all gonna die.
다 걸고 한판 할까?
This old man playing him. I told you guys, I don't trust this old man.
말이 안 되는 거잖아. 그럼
I don't trust this old man.
굿을 가져가는 건 말이 되고.
I knew something's been up with this man. This whole dementia thing's just been a ploy. And he only... Okay. Yeah. Huh.
가져. 자네 거.
Are we?
우리 손가락 걸고 깐부 맺은 거. 깐부끼리는
I don't know. Something suspicious. Because up until Gyun had the last marble, he was fine. And it was only then that he decided to start forgetting. You know?
덕분에 잘 있다가 가네.
It's a touching moment, but then I'm also like, what's the old man's game? Alright, time's up.
나 이름이 생각났어. 내 이름은 일남이야.
Hmm. Alright. We didn't see the old man get shot. There's something going on here. Oh my god. That was a grilling episode to get through. That was a tough one to get through. Yeah. Episode 4 was probably still my favorite, but this one was the most gut-wrenching, you know? The characters who were my favorite characters before are no longer my favorites, and I've gotten some new ones, you know? My favorite moment this episode was actually between Sebyuk and Ji-young. Just by virtue of the short amount of time that we've actually known Ji-young, and having just this moment alone says so much about her character. Just her sharing her past with Sebyuk, and I knew I figured from the very beginning that she would have allowed Sebyuk to win. But I didn't know how it would have been executed. You know, I thought she would have just said, "Oh," she seemed to not care whether she lived or died. I thought she would have just given her the marbles at the beginning, and that would have been it. But no, you know, she wanted to, at the very least in her last moments, know a bit more about her. And you know, they would have probably been good friends outside of this game. And I'm not sure that this is the first person we've met who was actually a prisoner, or at least has said so. Who is a prisoner and came here. I'm just wondering why she decided to participate in the game. She did mention that, you know, her father had a lot of debts, so maybe those debts are passed down to her, and so she said she was expecting creditors when she got out. But I would have preferred to figure something else out than come to this thing. But I do know that for a lot of inmates, when they are released back into society, it's very difficult for them to find a place in society again, especially where getting a job is concerned, and then of course that impacts everything else. Getting a home and loans and so on and so forth. So I completely get it. If she can win the game and get a start, it would do her well, but yeah, she decided to let Sabiuk go on in her place, because she has nothing to return to. So that was just my favorite moment. Just the two characters there, sitting, learning more about each other, and of course Ji Young's sacrifice there at the end. This is of course going to hopefully push. Well, I don't know. I want to say push Sabiuk to trust others a bit more, but we just also saw Sang-woo betray Ali, so I'm not sure if you should trust anyone, so it's really tough because this game really it really pulled it really pulled a 180 on them, because in the previous game they were operating on the premise of the last game that okay, you definitely need someone that you trust for this game, and it needs to be a man. Of course, that ended up being not so great. One of the things that I wanted to actually see specifically that had nothing to do with the main characters, was the husband and wife that's still in the game. I didn't see what teams they ended up in for tug of war, but I definitely wanted to see what happened here, because they would have been playing against each other in this particular game, and who knows? We will see who the winner is. I hope. I mean, they're not key characters or anything, but it was just interesting that a husband and wife actually ended up in the same position as everyone else. I'm not sure why they would both agree to come here versus just one of them coming here and trying to get the money, because you may end up having to kill your wife in the end. But I'm sure one of them had to have died in this game. So I'm curious to see, or if they'll show us in later episodes which one of the two, whether it's the husband or the wife, who actually lived. I want to say I doubt it came down to a game. If you're married to someone, I don't know if you'd want to play for their lives. So I think in the end, maybe one of them just gave the marbles to the other. But who did that? So I'm fascinated with that one, and I do hope we come back to it. But going back to Sang-woo, your piece of garbage, Sang-woo. Oh my God, I liked him up until now. He was doing some shady stuff, yes, but at his core, he seemed to have been trying to help. He helped Ali before, but even though he said you wouldn't have to pay me back, he was clearly still holding it over his head because he brought it up in this game. Is that he was expecting something in return. Maybe not the money, but it's like, okay, you owe me a favor, or you owe me now, and that was a despicable thing to do. I can't forgive that. I just can't forgive that. So Sang-woo's off the list. I mean, to be fair, Gion did do some pretty shitty stuff this episode as well. I don't know which is worse, betraying your friend or taking advantage of an old man. And he did take advantage of the old man, although I will say the old man, I don't know. The old man so far, all the suspicions that I've had of him in the games, him running into Gion to convince him to come back to the game, his sheer enjoyment in all the games and smiling throughout, even the night when they were all killing each other, and he was the only one to know to go to the top bunker in the middle of the night when they were all looking for him to ensure that he was safe, and he was fine. He was at the top of the bunkers, quite fine, and then he shouted, he was trying to calm everyone down so that they will all die here, you need to stop. But once you put that aside, how did he get up there and why was he up there? And then we come back to this game where he was winning right up to the end, and then he's conveniently started forgetting what he was betting, and then Yoon took advantage of that, which was wrong, but then he recalls all of it later on and says, you've been cheating me all this time, and then he gave him, and then just as he was about to be shot, they cut away before we saw him die. So there's just something really suspicious about everything the old man has been doing so far, and none of those questions have been answered. So I don't know. I love the moment, but it's still bizarre, and there's still a lot of question marks about the old man. So and him going around here, trying to find his house. I want to say that it's just a dementia, but I don't know. But anyway, the the mobster guy. I want him to die so badly. I want him to die so badly. At the very beginning, it was between him and the annoying woman that was trying to get into a team with somebody. I do wonder whether she died as well because it wasn't said. We didn't hear gunshots or anything. We just heard her being taken away. But I'm not sure what happened, if they just killed her or if we're going to see her again in the next game. So I'm curious to know what happened to her. But yeah, the mob guy, he's still the most despicable character here, and I want him to die so badly. And I thought this was gonna be a flip where his lackey was playing him all along, and in part he was because he finally built up the courage to say, okay, yeah, you think you're better than me because I call you boss. Um, yeah, but I get some enjoyment out of the fact that every single person that this guy keeps bossing around, keeps turning on him. When he returned to the real world in episode 2 in Hell, his underling turned him in for some cash. So I'm enjoying the slow torture, of him realizing that he can trust no one, and at some point, someone's gonna catch up to you, which is just irony because the reason he's here is because he turned on his boss and stole money from him. So I can't wait to see the moment when he dies. But that marble moment where the guy was trying to get his marble into the hole and it hit a rock, changed direction, and then the other guy's marble ended up. I played marbles in high school as a kid. It's probably not a game that's played that much anymore. Yes, I'm probably very old. Um, so I mean, that was closer to the marble that I played. Only it wasn't. There are different variations of it, but you weren't necessarily using multiple marbles to get closer to the hole. More essentially, you would use the first marble, but then you could use a second one, but you weren't playing with 10. So it's really interesting. But there are different variations of the games that you can actually play, and we saw a few of them here in this game itself. But it was certainly a fun episode. A lot of things that I did not expect, and as I said, my favorite moment here was just Ji Young and Sabyuk. She's quickly becoming one of my favorite characters now that Sang-woo is off the table completely. Ali unfortunately was betrayed, and Sang-woo will be forever at the bottom. At the beginning, I think I said that I think that Sun Gyun would be the one to sell anyone out to get himself out of the situation. And that might still be true because he did take advantage of a senile old man here. But now Sang-woo's, and he's on that same level, so it seems the both of them may actually be garbage, although I'll give it more to Gyun. I give it more to him. Or maybe I shouldn't. They're both doing some pretty bad stuff. They're both doing some pretty terrible stuff. I guess I just have more sympathy for Gyun because he has a daughter he's trying to return to. But having more things in the real world doesn't make the things that you do any less despicable. So it really shouldn't be a measure of that. But that Sang-woo is at the bottom for sure. He's at the bottom for sure. But I think either of the two, and that's the nature of the game. I'm not sure what anyone here expected, and I suspect going forward they'll know not to trust anyone at this point. But I don't know if this is the end of the team sports. So they can't. So this game has taught them that they cannot trust each other, or they shouldn't trust each other, because at the end of the day, there's only going to be one winner. And that's what I said earlier on in this. I think in season 1 or in episode 1 or episode 2. It's that there's no way that there's going to be two winners walking away from this thing. So at a certain point, you're gonna have to kill your best mate. So don't make friends. There's no point in doing any of that. But you know, even if you do decide to kill everyone in their sleep, you may end up that the final game may end up being a game that you have to play with two, and then you lose and no one wins. There's still the real possibility that even if you win, you still lose. So they won't be able to trust each other going forward, even though they may want to. So it's gonna come down to, of course, Sebiuk, Sangwoo, and Gyun. But if they do end up going in a team match again, I would caution Gyun not to trust Sangwoo. But who's to say? You know, it just occurred to me that maybe I don't know. I don't even want to think he's still trying to do anything good. I was just thinking to myself, could it be that he decided not to choose, that Sangwoo decided not to choose Gyun because he didn't want to kill him, but then he didn't know what the game was going to be. And I don't know. I don't even know if I'd call what they have friendship. I think it's more that Gyun has always had admiration for him, but I don't know if it was reciprocated. So I don't think so. Yeah, I was thinking, yeah, you know, maybe he decided, you know, I don't want him to die, so let me go with Ali. But no, he's a piece of garbage. Yeah, no, it's unforgivable at this point. Yeah. But I do hope Gyun is cautious and starts pairing up with Sebyuk, even though at some point they may have to kill each other. So it may just be everyone sticks to themselves. Everyone, and I think because of how the games are designed, I think that's how it's gonna play out. They're gonna say they played this game, which convinces them that they can trust no one, but then the next game may actually be a game where you have to rely on someone else. So it's gonna be torturous. It's gonna be torturous, but at the end of this, I don't think there's any way that there's more than one winner. I think there's just gonna be one winner. You know, so it's gonna be interesting. We didn't get a whole lot in terms of the cop this episode. He was there for a bit in the very beginning. I was taking some photos of everything. He had his chance to take out the front man and didn't. I think he probably should have done that. I think he's waiting for the VIPs that he heard about. He's waiting for the VIPs to come there so he can make an arrest. But my man, this is some weird shit. You know, this is not going to go how you expect a normal operation to go. Take the opportunity to get one of the oxygen tanks and try to make your way on the shore somehow. You know, or wait for another batch to come in with the next ship and then try to sneak aboard. But the longer he's there, the more danger he's going to be in. I mean, he has no food or anything. He can maybe try to sneak into the square because he still has a square mask, I think. It may be possible to try to get into the square that died, get into his room. But then they know that guy died, so if you go into his room, it's going to be suspicious. It's going to be odd that, oh, this guy's dead. Why is he here? So I don't know what his plan is at this stage. But yeah, things are getting interesting, guys. It's getting interesting. I'm going to move on to the next episode. All right, remember to post down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.